Did you know that Japan could soon face a catastrophic megaquake? What could this mean for millions of lives caught in the path of impending disaster? Stay tuned because we're diving deep into the hidden threat of the Nankai Trough Fault. This geological boundary, where the Philippine Sea and Eurasian tectonic plates collide, has long raised alarm bells for Japan. It's notorious for seismic activity, and experts estimate that we're due for a megathrust earthquake every 100 to 150 years. The last major quake struck on March 11, 2011, when a magnitude 9.1 earthquake sent shockwaves throughout the nation, triggering a deadly tsunami and the infamous Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster, claiming more than 15,000 lives. With that disaster still vivid in the minds of many, forecasts are growing more ominous as another crisis looms on the horizon. According to the latest government report, a megathrust earthquake, potentially reaching a magnitude of 8 to 9 on the Richter scale, could shake the Nankai Trough within the next few decades. Experts warn that this could result in the deaths of up to 300,000 people and wreak havoc on the economy, costing as much as $1.81 trillion, roughly 1.68 trillion euros. With an 80% chance of this disaster happening in the next 30 years, the stakes just couldn't be higher. This unsettling forecast is based not just on speculation, it draws upon newly updated data regarding seismic activity in the region. This new information reveals expanded flood zones and an even greater potential for destruction. Economically, the outlook has worsened significantly. What was once projected at 214.2 trillion yen is now expected to soar to 270.3 trillion yen. To put that in perspective, these staggering figures account for nearly half of Japan's GDP. The shockwave from such an economic disaster would undoubtedly reach far beyond Japan's shores. But let's not forget, this looming catastrophe isn't an isolated incident in Japan's historical narrative. The nation has long been at the mercy of natural disasters, living with the harsh reality of its vulnerability to earthquakes for centuries. Despite advancements in infrastructure and disaster preparedness, the unpredictable nature of seismic events puts everyone, government officials and marginalized communities alike, at risk. But what happens to these vulnerable groups when disaster strikes? The elderly, the poor, and rural populations often bear the brunt of such calamities. While officials may emphasize Japan's preparedness, there remains a stark contrast between their narratives of resilience and the lived experiences of those most affected. Picture this. The rapid evacuation of 1.23 million people is just one logistical nightmare that awaits. Can Japan truly safeguard every citizen, especially those in less fortified areas? The government's reassurances may sound comforting, but who benefits in the end? Experts caution that even with sophisticated seismic research and technology, the human and economic toll may be unavoidable. Dr. Hideki Fujiwara, a geophysics professor at the University of Tokyo, points out that while significant investments are made in disaster preparedness, we can only do so much against the sheer force of nature. This chilling assessment raises essential questions. Will Japan's elite manage to escape the worst of the fallout, buffered by their wealth, while the underprivileged face the greatest losses? And how do we prioritize the safety and well-being of the most vulnerable in our society during crises? On a larger scale, how can we align economic models with the urgent need for social equity? As Japan gears up for the potential impacts of the Nankai Trough seismic events, it's clear that we must rethink not just the infrastructure but the very fabric of societal resilience. A shift toward equity, one that prioritizes people over profits, might be our only effective strategy against future disasters. In closing, the looming threat of a megaquake along the Nankai Trough serves as a stark reminder of systemic injustice. Marginalized communities stand to lose the most, caught in the crossfire between nature's wrath and underfunded infrastructure. Even with advancements in seismic science, there appears to be a concerning indifference among power structures, prioritizing financial gain over human lives. As we brace for the potential devastation of future tsunamis and the loss of countless lives, we must ask ourselves, can we truly claim to be prepared if the most vulnerable among us are left to fend for themselves? If you found this information eye-opening, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more updates, and share your thoughts in the comments below.